Hi guys, in this video I'll be doing my very first book review of The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games is my absolute favorite series, so this book review might be a tiny bit biased, but it's probably not, okay? And I'm sorry if there's a little bit of background noise. There's some work going on, so hopefully you can hear me well. Let's get started. The Hunger Games is a very well-known series and probably one of the young adult genre classics, though that doesn't mean it's only for a young adult. The Hunger Games is a very suspenseful and fast-paced novel. It can be violent and quite simply scary to a few people. It is a survival story and parts of it are very sad. Okay, now here's the part if you are really serious about reading this book, cover your ears. For example, when Rue died, there was definitely a few tears for me. I was so sad when that happened. And okay, this is pretty obvious, but I was so surprised when Prim was picked, even though, it's so obvious. But the way Susan Collins wrote it, it's always just very suspenseful, even though I've read the book 50 times. The book, as I mentioned before, can be very scary for some kids, which is why I wouldn't recommend the series for anyone younger than 9, though it does depend on the level of maturity. Some kids over 9 could be unsuitable for reading the book, while some kids below the age of 9 would easily be able to handle all the violence and the romance. Another major point I'd like to say for the people who aren't sure if the book is good or not, once you start reading, you'll be hooked. You won't want to put the book down. The book is expressive in a way that makes you feel like you know the characters as if they were your best friend. If you or someone in your family is worried about the romance content, don't be. The majority of the book has nothing to do with romance. It's more of a survival or adventure story. And if you've read Percy Jackson, there's only a little more romance than that, unless you count sisterly love romance. And the violence, if you've watched Star Wars or maybe some of the Marvel movies, you'll probably be okay. And I put possibly depressing because I know some people are a lot more sensitive than others. And I've read really sad books before, but to me, The Hunger Games was not one of them. But it can be horrible to read a super sad book. So if you read the book and you reach a part that's just very, very horribly sad, and you just can't believe that ever happened, set down the book and ask yourself, is this too much for me? If your answer is yes, put away the book and maybe wait a few months or even a year before reading it again. As a final jurisdiction, I believe this is a book that everyone should read one time in their life. It doesn't have to be now, and it doesn't have to be in a few years. But whenever you believe you are ready to read it, read it. If you are maybe a movie type of person, watch the movie. I mean, a lot of movies are based on books. Most movies are. And sometimes they're really bad if you've read the book. But the Hunger Games movie, it's pretty much the same as the book. So I would totally say, even if you do read the book, you should also watch the movie. I watch it all the time. One of my favorite actresses are there, Jennifer Lawrence. So if you love her, you should watch it. Okay, so if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and just so that I know what you think. And if you have some feedback on the way I'm formatting this or my opinions, feel free to comment. And as a sneak peek to my next book review,